Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining me here today as we get to talk about one of my favorite subjects, comic books. My name is Jose. I love comic books. I love talking about them. I love sharing them with you. Feel free to follow me on social media if you would like. Links are in the description below. I've also posted a link to the DC fan site that'll have plot synopsis and character bios. So, I love this limited series. It's 4 issues. I'm going to do one issue at a time. I love it. So, Flex Mentallo, written by Grant Morrison and drawn by Frank Quietly. This issue kicks, this series, sorry, kicks ass. I absolutely love it. There was so much um, getting this reprinted was very incredible. I did not buy these in. No, I did buy them in '96. I thought I went back and bought them. No, but I did get them in '96. Um, when these first came out, I thought I got it after the JLA run, but maybe I did. Who knows? Anyway, regardless, I got these. Whether or not I got them for off the rack or went back in the aftermarket. But I'm glad I did because these were so incredibly hard to get because DC did not want to reprint these because there was a lawsuit with the image and likeness of what, oh my god, not Tony Atlas, he's a wrestler. Anyway, whatever his name was, um which I think is BS. Art and imitation, and everyone. We've taken this image and likeness crap a little too far, in my opinion. And Charles Atlas, I think it was Charles Atlas. Anyway, his family, Charles Atlas was already passed away during this time, but of course, they formed a company and all that kind of stuff. And his image, oh my God, nothing now. Everything now is just it's forever, and I find that to be so annoying. These copyright laws. So I'm gonna get on a little tangent. Copyright laws are great to protect during the artist's lifetime, but for the love of God, are we gonna keep doing this for 100 years and we can't come up with whatever. I'm all for allowing these copyrights to expire. Um and so, and also part of art is imitation, it's imitation and it's uh, um I don't know. It's just I think them suing was all ado about nothing. But eventually DC won, and then they reprinted these. So this is actually available on reprint. Whether or not it has gone out of print, I don't know. But if you get a chance to find these, please do, because um, if you love Frank Quietly, and he's not the fastest penciler, there's only so much Frank Quietly available out there. So this is definitely um, a big introduction to us in the United States for his work. So here we go. Grant Morrison and Frank Quietly. The whole goddamn reality's coming unglued, and I'm here on the night shift. So World Bodybuilding Association approved by the World Bodybuilding. So you can already tell that this is what it was meant to be, exactly what it was. But then DC got sued, but they ended up winning, like I said. So, all right. So, Grant Morrison, I'm covering also two of Warren Ellis's run. I'm covering Planetary, and I'm covering the Stormwatch before it becomes the Authority. And then I'm also for Grant Morrison, I'm covering his JLA run. Grant Morrison has an imagination that is absolutely brilliant. And seeing that imagination, having someone draw that stuff that's coming out of his mind is absolutely amazing. So, and I love Frank Quietly. I have everything Frank. I've gone back, and a lot of it is on trades. but everything Frank Quietly has ever done, I have. So he is just brilliant. And Morrison and Quietly, who of course did the they did they've done a lot of collaborations, but of course that Superman 12 issue All Star Superman is absolutely brilliant, and then JLA Earth 2. So we got this guy here throwing this bomb, and all of a sudden you see that and creating a kind of multiverse or a new universe. And so you see here, flight number 230 will be boarding shortly through the K9 doorway. And so you can see this galaxy all of a sudden becoming like a little cloud, perhaps on Earth. Is this Earth? Through the K9 doorway. And again, we're now going back, and now we're pulling up, and we see that gentleman on the hat here, the K9 doorway. And so this is your brain on drugs. And the guy just goes, heh. Because that was a 80s commercial. So, did you ever see that commercial? Jesus, says the guy as he's cracking open eggs. You got that order ready yet, Mario? Says the waitress. Coming right up. 2 eggs in a bun twice over. Easy. No runny whites. Eggs, eggs. Who wants eggs? Eggs. I guess that'll be me. After the fact, part 1. Flowery atomic heart. And so, look at this. Absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous. Look at that. Oh, what an absolute gorgeous panel this is. Look at this. And the face. Oh, my goodness gracious. Frank Quietly is awesome. So he is such a good artist, but he's very slow. And if you've seen, I think on YouTube you can catch some of the videos. This guy is so meticulous that it takes him forever, because he pencils detail in blue line, then he pencils the blue line pencils, and then inks it. It's just insane. So it takes a long time for him to get this. So whenever you see something from Frank Quietly, please get it. There you go, honey. Boy, I just adore all male He-Man. You're a magnificent modern Hercules. That's what you are, she says. And Flex says, yeah, and you're a fine, hardworking woman. How much do I owe you? He says. Boy, I've been waiting for this. Nothing like the protein and goodness in it. There's a fly here. And he's like, there's a woman screaming, or a scream, sorry. And he goes, huh? And I love how the 2 panels inside the panel. And all of a sudden, bomb, it's a bomb, yells this woman. It's a bomb. There he goes. And here you can see that bomb, which is bomb. Don't let him get away. And this guy's just staring at it. If this was modern times now, I know it's the 90s, everyone would have a cell phone out. But, so that guy's running away. And, God, this is so cool. I like to go down to the airport once a week. I usually take a taxi there and just sit for most of the day, watching the planes landing and taking off, watching the people come and go. Kids lugging bags and toy animals, businessmen checking watches, lovers hugging, parting. I like to watch life going by, a river of faces that never grows dull. You can always count on life. So you can see that he's going out. And just absolutely, even this person, I mean, he just, what a chain reaction. You know, she leans back, hits this guy who knocks over the coffee. God, Frank Quietly is great. He did some of New X-Men run with Grant Morrison. Absolutely brilliant stuff. Grant Morrison, I have such respect for his craft. It just some of his, part of the problem with his work in the Invisibles was the art. The art just didn't speak to me. So sometimes if a good writer is teamed up with a okay artist, but the artist doesn't kind of grab me like Frank Quietly grabs me, it's sometimes hard for me to enjoy the the series, and that's kind of how I felt reading Invisibles. It just, eh, the art was pretty meh in my opinion. My opinion. Um, so here we go. Today was different, and Flex says, "Stand back, everyone. Let me deal with this. What a build! He's famous for it." And so it looked like I had maybe 4 or 5 seconds before the bomb went off, so I summoned up the power of the muscle mystery, activating the secret biocultic tension of each muscle cord, each tendon. Above my head, my famous hero halo shimmered into view. Hero of the beach. And um this is what I mean. And you've heard me speaking of this when with Warren Ellis, and I said Mark Millar does this exact same thing. It's just they just put these comments in here that are just so out of. You're like, what? But it works. So who knows? Um, and I flex, reaching out to the probe, the interior of the bomb with my body mind. Again, like what? But that again, this is just the coolness of this and just the ridiculousness of it. God, and Frank Quietly is so good. But then, before I could do anything at all, the bomb just fizzled and spat and went out. And I realized it wasn't a bomb at all. It was a key, and you can see here he's looking at it, and everybody's just kind of um, staring at him. So, and it was about to open the strangest door of all. So, you can see this all plugged in. This is a VHS tape. This is what life was like before DVDs. These little analog things, and you could watch videos on them. Then DVDs came, and of course now everything's on digital. So even DVDs have gone out, and you can see all these items here match everything, and we see that fly again. And I love this little kitty here. Um, Jesus Christ, says this guy. How am I supposed to find anything in this mess? Look at this stuff. It must be here. I know. I know it was here, and you can see the hand. Again, look at the detail of this. This is almost a McFarlane-esque level of detail. You can see why this dude, it just takes forever to get issues out. This is why you don't hire Frank Quietly unless you're going to give him time to complete. You can't just say, here, give me 6, and just no. You gotta give him 6 months issues. So he can probably do 6 issues in a year. So if you want it to come out every month, then you gotta give him a year to get the time. So getting 12 issues out of this dude is a little hard. Also Morrison and Frank Quietly also did is it the Batman and Robin? He only did a couple of those issues. Again, it's so hard for this guy to. And so I tried to look up because Morrison does this HH. It's like a sigh. So it's like, huh. It's what it's supposed to be, because I've read, like, I've people have asked on this. There's actually a Reddit thing on it, and this is supposed to be a sigh was the most consensus thing. So he sighs and says the buzzer. And so, have you ever heard of Faculty X Mentallo? And so you can see here they're putting in this costumed villain, I guess. These things have been turning up all over the place. First one appeared on the altar of the cathedral, and since then, we've been finding them in hospitals, schools, banks, offices, you name it. Cartoon bombs. Jesus, look at this dumb thing. So, they're not even explosive. They're just hollow black balls left in place where the real bombs would damage the foundations of the establishment. It's like they're taunting us, showing us how fragile the whole system is. And Flex is just looking at it. So who are they? Terrorists? Pranksters? What does Faculty X mean? He asks. Beats me. They keep sending us all kinds of weird shit. Glowing rings, X-ray goggles, star scepters, yellow boots with ridged fireproof treads. I got a drawer full of this crap. And so here he's getting that drawer here. The debris of 1,000 out-of-phase parallel Earths, according to the last note or manifesto or whatever it was that we got in the mail. So before I continue, do you see what I mean? The insaneness of Morrison and just the words. It just to me sometimes if you're not familiar with Morrison and you're not familiar, it almost is like just putting things to see what sticks. So they've even got a slogan: just because you're paranoid, it doesn't mean they aren't paranoid too. Ha. Huh. And so the guy continues here. There's a crazy kind of logic to it, don't you think? Kind of a Zen thing. You want my opinion? I think it's some kind of hoax going on, like crop circles or UFOs. Nobody ever managed to get a picture of one of these Faculty X jokers. All we get are eyewitness accounts of figures in black cloaks running from the crime scene. You can still see that Flex is thinking here. Millennium fever, you know? The heat on society's coming apart at the seams and everybody's holding their breath for the end of the world. Millennium is because, of course, we were heading into the 2000s, and there was a fear that things were going to there was going to be a technological, I don't know. People always worry about stuff, so if the bomb doesn't get us, the plague will. Panic's bringing out the crazies out of the cracks in the paintwork. Here's something that came in today, for instance. Some kind of clue that's no clue at all. Take a look at this Mentallo. I love, he just has the shorts. What? This is so cool. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But there's something about Morrison and Quietly doing beautiful music together. So tell me what you make of it. And so he's got a card here that says the fact is. And here we still have that little flyish thing. But here it kind of looks like Ant-Man or the Wasp or something. So, my God, this is a fact card. This is impossible. This is a fact card, he says again. I want to go again to the art. And this is what I mean by McFarlane-esque. Is look at all these marks and ticks. And I'm talking about early McFarlane. Boss, you okay? You look kind of pale. What's up, boss? And so, he's got a card that says, the fact is, the game's up, wax something. So, and so we moved on to another thing here. So, the fact here, impossible, he says. Think again, wax worker. Okay, so that's what it said. The fact is, nothing is impossible, says whoever this is. Haven't seen this stuff for ages. These are actually brilliant. Look. And so we can see here, this is a drawing. When you're a kid, you just do it. You don't even think about it. It's pure. It's totally pure. Shit, I've got to stop looking at all this. So it looks like he's looking at like a comic book page. Be here all night. So these are like layouts. is not what I want. Where's the phone? Where's the fucking buzzer? Where did I put that thing? I had it a minute ago. Out of the way, Tibbert. Come on. Where is it? Where is it? He asks again. So look at the detail. I mean, this is John Byrne-esque. Beautiful. And so he's looking for something here. So he's shit. Oh shit! What a total mess. I can't keep. Ah, there it is. Right here. Thank God, he says. So you're telling me the fact is a fictional character, right? Jesus, things fall apart, huh? The whole goddamn reality is coming unglued, and I'm here on the night shift. He was one of a bunch of characters from a homemade comic book created by a kid called Wally Sage, Lieutenant. And so we're starting to see here that is this something going on in his mind, perhaps? So that's another Morrison trope. Don't things aren't always what they seem. So how cool is that? And he's wearing old fashioned. So he draws Superman also with these huge trunks like this. So I was another one of those characters, but I was brought to life by Wally's psychic powers. He thought me off the page and onto the real world so that I could help him. He died in my arms. Maybe the fact got out too somehow. Maybe if I can find him, everything will come together. And the lieutenant here, yeah, maybe God's just decided to ring down the curtain on this whole dumbass drama. Signs and wonders, Mentallo, he says, and the phone's ringing here. Wonder and signs. Goddamn phone ringing all the time, and goddamn bugs as he tries to shoo. And so, nobody's home, nobody's home. Well, that's it then. Nothing left to do, he says. And the cat's hungry. He's trying to get some food. And so, yeah, so we're seeing a bunch of weirdness. So, like I said, if you don't like Grant Morrison or not familiar with him, it just it's an acquired taste, perhaps. So I've stolen your money, I've stolen your memories, I've stolen your hopes and your hopes for the future. Now I dare you to uncover the shocking identity of Origami, the folding man. And so, one for sorrow, two for joy. Your number's up, Flex Mentallo. Long live the lucky number gang. What have I done? I've opened the baffling box and let loose the powers of beyond on an unsuspecting reality world. Reality dies at dawn. And so he goes TT or tit, like maybe task or like that's most likely what that means. So that sound you make sometimes when you're thinking, you're like. So what happened to the good old days? The heroes and villains, the team-ups and dream-ups. Seems to rain all the time these days. Never seems to get light. Maybe the lieutenant is right. Maybe it is the end of the world, and there's nothing left to do but play with our old toys. Man, look at this. Just what an amazing, just a plane, just a guy sitting on a chair, but look at that beautiful background. Oh. Turn on the TV, see what's happening, he says. So it's all weird cable stations these days. Hard to tell what's new and what's not. Guess it just doesn't matter anymore. So he's looking at these weird kind of stories. AIDS, the ozone layer, the bomb. That's only the tip of the iceberg. These are the last days. It's obvious. I've been telling them, but they just won't listen. I knew it was over for mankind when I first heard those weird ramblings in the Earth's core. They're getting louder every day. This world is doomed. I'm a dad and I'm afraid for my little baby here. Who wouldn't be? That's why I built me this rocket ship. Gonna send my boy into space, give him a chance on some other planet out there. They call me crazy now, but soon and then he changes the channel so you can see the click. Not of this world. I was sent here a long time ago to teach you, to show you wonders, but it's now too late. It's been so long, I've forgotten all the important things I had to say. It's too late. A snowball stinging my palm red. A certain tree at a certain hour of the day. Human memories have invaded my head. One of my own memories, only fragments remain. Candy striped skies. Can you imagine? And a child smiling weightless, each floating strand of hair with a tiny eye at its tip. So, when I was going through Planetary and Stormwatch by Warren Ellis, I told you guys Morrison, Ellis, and Alan Moore, and Mark Miller. I tell you, they all just write this weird. It's so hard to sometimes just they make these words and they string them together, and it just sounds so cool, like Stanley-isms in a way. So a swaying mass of blinking lights. Who's going to save the world now? And then click as he turns the channel. And give your cat food. Who's going to save the world now? Yes, that's right, food. Cats love it. And so here the guy's now feeding his cow. And so another commercial. So that's good. Lamb and turkey. Ah, Tibbert, you're getting rather old, but you're a good cat. Bye, son. And so the guy walks out and it's raining hard. And I love how Frank quietly, although probably the colorist too, but just look at how chaotic and how windy this looks. So, and I thought that was all real for a minute there. I felt myself stroking my cat's fur and walking out into the rain, but that was an hour ago or something. Real quick, I'm gonna interject again. It's just when you pick up an issue of a Grant Morrison run, the first time, it just seems so overwhelming because you gotta be in there for the entire story. It all runs within the context. So when you pick up issue 1, and sometimes even issue 2, they're the most confusing of all until you get toward the end where he starts to then put it together. The longer he has a run on, the more convoluted it gets in the beginning because you're going, what the hell? But it really does eventually all coalesce to make sense. It's just taming these ideas of his or getting them, because he just starts throwing stuff and it just gets, like I said, he can be very frustrating as you're reading and you're like, what the heck? Because he just throws all these things in there. But Morrison is a really good writer. I really enjoy him. It's just, he can be very difficult. So, all right, I'm going to continue here. It's just me now telling you the story. I thought it was happening. Time's really fucked up, and I'll never see my lovely cat again. What? My name's, it's Sage Wallace, Sage. You can call me Wallace Sage. So he's sitting here. Of course it's not real. It's my secret identity. Does it matter? What? You sound weird. I play in a band. I write songs. Yeah, quite famous. So he's like on a phone, perhaps? An early cell phone? Or at least he was acting like one. So, I don't know where I am. I'm not really sure. Somewhere in the city, it's raining. I don't mind. It's so hot. I'm so hot. And so, Flex down here. Who's going to save the world? And I love the trench coat and this is so... And of course, the doomsday sign. Oopsie. And so, we go back up here. Doesn't anybody care anymore? And so, Flex says, what happened here, officer? And the cop says, we found this poor asshole around in the back here, all tangled up in some kind of net. He's been pretty badly beaten, head and chest injuries, fractured spine. Guy's not making too much sense, but from what I can figure, a gang of boys did it. Christ only knows. If you ask me, it looks like he ran into a herd of goddamn rhinos on PCP. Poor bastard. And he glass flex and he's like, fuck if, and then he gives him this. If riff, if off one kirch, if. And so, this neighborhood's gone to hell. It's all gone to hell. People think the end of the world's coming. That's just go crazy. What's to lose? And Flex says, I guess so. Listen, officer, this may sound a little queer, which means strange in, I think, in Brit. I guess, but I want you to tell me the first fact about anything that comes into your head. The first fact, well, there's an old abandoned school about 2 blocks from here. It's not much of anything, is it? It'll do, officer. Thanks. And so, all this time, and I had the answer to that man's question. It was staring me in the face. Who's going to save the world? It was so simple. Who always saves the world? The superheroes, that's who. It was like a light going on in my head, dispelling the shadows of the long, dark night we'd found ourselves in. I remember the way it used to be. Remember when we turned the world on its axis to save the life of one child? Remember how we flew to the limits of unknown, titanic galaxies to petition the gods for humanity's survival? Remember when we rescued kittens from trees and asked for no reward? It all came back to me in that place. So the guy, obviously, he goes into the that school, the hallway, and now he's entering some type of classroom here. That haunted school, so now he's remembering back seeing the kids in school. Some things you can never explain. I know I saw that guy standing at the door. I was about 8 at that time. I can see him now, like it's still happening. And so, the guy's still pretending to be like on the phone here, so. Sorry, I'm just rambling. I just wanted to talk to someone for a little while, and no one was home, so I phoned the Samaritans. Sodomy gave me this phone. Yeah, it's ridiculous. You should see this thing. It's the shape of a stingray from the King Sting series. Remember they had the buzzer phone on that? Maybe it's a bit before your time. You've got a friendly voice. I wish I could sound like that. It's a skill, isn't it? It's funny. All I can think about is being a kid. All those memories. Comics. Comics everywhere. I can smell them in the room. Did you ever read comics? No, American comics. Thick comics. Mando the Mysterious. That was my uncle's favorite. Sort of occulty stuff. I remember there was this story called, what was it? A Collapse into the Nucleus. Fuck, it scared the shit out of me. It's funny how that's what's left at the end, isn't it? All the stupid stuff. No War and Peace, no James Joyce, just the comics, the superheroes. The Blazer, the Flaming Flag, Lord Limbo, the Golden Agent. So this kid's, of course, reading all these comics here. He's got a bag of chips here. Totally amazing names. I mean, when you think about it, they're like Archie Typal. They come right up from the depths, those things. How can they say the stuff's stupid? You know, I remember being a kid, also being engulfed by these dumb little magazines. I just love them. So, why do people get so ashamed of things? I mean, I really love those comics. I didn't start saving them up until I was about 12 or something. I had to go to the hospital for an operation, and my aunt brought me some comics to read. It was horrible. What? No, the operation. I'm talking about the operation now. Awful. The doctors had blood and stuff on his rubber boots. They gave me gas, and I woke up in the middle of the night in total agony, desperate for water. I couldn't even whisper. Hours inching like centuries. Yeah. And there was this green light. I just stared at it all night. It was like an alien intelligence watching me, conducting some kind of experiment on me. I was in real pain. I just kept thinking that if I could last the night, I'd have won. Nobody's got any idea what kids go through. I was all on my own with that fucking light, hours and hours and hours, like years. Poor little me on my own. And so from behind, can I help you? You look lost, son. Need any help? Like a custodian there. I'm looking for a friend, says Flex. His name was The Fact. He was a crime fighter. And so the custodian is like, don't know the name. I figured you were a parent or guardian. That's what you looked like at first. Thought you might be after news of your young ward. This place has been empty for years now. Love the way the shadow is. There's nobody here but me. Son, you're wasting your time here. Wait. What is this place, he asks. This used to be the school for sidekicks till they closed us down. Nowhere for the boys to go after that. No supervision. They're out. Oh, sorry. They're out there now. Roaming tribes of boy sidekicks, armed to the teeth and trained to kill. Beast boys and daring young athletes, super fast Mercury boys in chrome-trimmed suits, and archer boys with trick arrows and devil-may-care grins. But no one to look up to anymore. See? No future, no hope. And so here we have all these little sidekicks here. Or what would have been. Can't blame them for running wild. If they closed the school, why are you still here, old-timer? I hope you don't mind my asking, but who exactly are you anyway? Me? I'm the mightiest man in the universe, son. Got a secret origin too, he says. I saw the old man in the underpass. Thought he was ill. People were just passing by, but I gave him some money. It was all I had. I've been saving for a convoy terror naval battle game. There you go, mister. I hope you get better, as he tosses him some change. In return for my kindness, he gave me a crossword puzzle to fill in. Said I should speak aloud the last word I wrote down. He claimed it was the word God said, the word that brought the universe and consciousness into being. So I tried it. What boy wouldn't? And so, of course, the word is Shazam from Captain Marvel. Didn't ever see the old man again. Sometimes I think he was my own future self. But why are you here? If you've got all these powers, you can help me save the world. And the guy says, it's just people who need saving. The world's fine as it is. See, I figured it was better to stay here, better to live and suffer as a man than to be a god looking down on others, living and suffering. And so he gives the Flex the crossword puzzle. I'm like a reformed alcoholic. Just one more day, sweet Jesus. One more day without saying the word. Here, you take it. I kept the weird crossword puzzle. It's old now, but I'm betting it'll still work for the right person. Now I've got work to be getting on with. My advice is you should try the railroad station. Good luck, Flex. You too. You sure have kept this place clean, he says. So now we're at the station here. So Flex continues his narration. The station was busy with people hurrying home to be with their loved ones. Everyone seemed scared and anxious. I could feel it all building up, a big tension and pressure pressing down on us. Then it happened. Bomb! Jumping Jesus, it's a bomb. And then he says some kind of weird thing. Time seemed to slow down as he turned and looked at me, and I saw that he was fuzzy and indistinct, like one of those UFO photographs or pictures of the Loch Ness Monster. And suddenly I was moving into action, and they're like, oh, it's Flex Mentallo, man of muscle mystery. I flexed a bicep. That is just awesome. Oh. Concrete explodes by his feet, but he kept his balance and kept on running, flickering as he went like an old black and white cartoon from the 30s. And so we're back in that alley here. Sorry I keep drifting off. Are you still there? It's like hallucinations. I don't mind. It's amazing. It's like real, like another world happening. So right now, as we're going through this, we don't know what's going on. Is this all an imagination? This guy's imagination? Are the So we're sort of right now just trying to figure out, is this real or isn't it? So what have I taken? What do you mean? Oh, right, drugs. I've taken a lot of drugs, haven't I? Shit, no wonder I feel so weird. Well, there was a quarter of hash at least. 2 ecstasy stabs, acid. I must be coming up on that acid. Jesus, I wish I hadn't taken that now. A bottle of vodka and, huh? You you should see that cigarette. So, oh yeah, and those parasite. Oh my goodness, I don't know what that word is. So, what? I don't know. A whole bottle, I think. Well, of course I'm committing suicide. What do you think? I just wanted someone to talk to. That's all. While I'm waiting. I just wanted to talk about comics. See, all those shitty, amazing comics. Love this panel here. And so, and so, we're at the last page here. So, I almost had him. I reached for his clock and caught hold of a trail length of crackling material as he goes into a photo booth. And then I felt the static charge go dead in my hand. I felt the shape leave the cloth, and the sound of his breathing stopped. And so the picture snaps, and he looks in there. And the machine's, of course, whirling out the photograph here. And it comes out here. And we see that. And Flex goes, the fact. And I read the name of the bar printed in green ink on the back of the photo strip. And all at once, that strange door swung wide open. So, next, the menace of the Mentallo Man. So, all right, Flex Mentallo from 1996 by Grant Morrison with Frank Quietly. I promise you, it is confusing, but um, it will eventually click and make sense. So, like and subscribe. I do thank you for listening. Goodbye.